lot agreement. As everybody's aware, we had an extension going for, which expires March 31st. And I guess the ultimate question here is, do we need this parking lot for municipal parking? That's the question before us. And I'll let you folks determine whether we do or not.
How did you make any progress since the last meeting and discussions?
I spoke with Frank Campano, and with regard to his insurance companies, they have said that basically it wasn't acceptable for the village to be added as a rider. In turn, I spoke to ours, and I think you should have a letter there from Kevin Berry, who's also said the same thing. We basically lead ourselves up into liability issues.
So, like I said at the last meeting, if we could come up with some sort of deal to purchase it for some minor amount, and we take over ownership of it, then it all goes away.
And I'll tell you, I had thought about that, and I'm glad you brought that up, because in my estimation that we built it, we maintained it over the years. I think asking it back for $1 is not out of the question.
Right. At least the problem is we're one half of that. You know, so you see, movie, new movie, with the baseball movie, and then the movie being across the table, we got the other side, see what you want to do.
Sure. Anyone else?
Moneyball.
I don't see myself where it's a problem, just to continue on the way we've been doing for 40 plus years. It's that way there it keeps it as a municipal or public parking lot, and you know, I don't believe it's a big, at first it looked like it might have been a big liability, but one incident in 45 years is not a big liability, I don't think.
2 incidents. We just had one a couple weeks ago.
Well, I mean,
incidents don't take, incidences aren't scheduled.
Well,
Let's put it that way.
they never are, but
Right.
I mean, it's a big percentage of the community uses this parking lot, and I'd like to see it stay the way it is.
I agree with what you're saying, Francis, but I also, to Tim's point, I think what we talked about before, this would be so much cleaner if it was truly a municipal parking lot, that it was owned, maintained, cared for, the liability carried totally by the village. It's definitely complicated by the fact that there are multiple owners that have a stake in that parking lot. And even if we were to enter into another agreement, as we have for the past decades, they still have some liability. They hold, I shouldn't say some, they have liability for their lot as well as the village. That part's not going to change. I understand that they want to limit access and therefore limit their liability, but again, it would be, that issue would go away if the parking lot was the village's, and we could, I mean, it's just right now to make more improvements to public property is a tough nut right now to sell anybody on this board, I think.
Have you read Kevin's letter?
I just saw it just a few minutes ago. But,
I mean, do you understand it, or?
well, I understand what he's saying. Basically, yes, we're going to have liability there. I mean,
Okay.
that's our common sense. Yes,
So
just at it.
Just for clarification, you're opening up the whole village and its taxpayers to liability. You realize that, right?
Well, it's always been the taxpayer's liability, yes, I realize
Okay.
that. For 35 years, the village,
I'm just
the
checking.
village built that lot, obviously, with the intention of maintaining it afterwards. I don't think they just built it and said, we're gonna be, you know, kind to these people, and we're just gonna build a parking lot back there because we like these people, you know. I think they built it because there was a problem, they needed more parking in town, and they built it with the intention of after they built it, they were gonna maintain it from that point on.
But the
So
original
that's
agreement
parking.
doesn't
The
say
agreement
that.
didn't say that.
Maybe it
It
doesn't
says
say
it will
it in
return
the
it even if
agreement.
it's been regular wear and tear has caused, you know, it's not as great as the day it's built. It will be returned in the state
You're worried about wear and tear. I can take you on any street you see it right now and show you where there's a lot of wear and tear
Oh, yeah.
maintained by the
We gotta
village.
maintain those too.
And there's not much maintenance up in that park.
We gotta maintain those too.
I've been to
So
fire
you're also
station,
in
I've been to
agreement.
that's different places over there. And they had, you've had, over 45 years, you had different people that ran and owned business there. It was very handy for them to load and unload their material. You're talking about getting, unloading on the main drag for crying out loud.
Well, and it
That's a
still
pain in the
could
butt.
be, if we owned the parking lot, that would be a great resolution, because none of those issues would exist anymore. We would have liability, but it's because we own it.
That's the rub.
Well,
That's
we
the
have a
issue.
blanket liability anyway.
That's
Gallagher's.
the one rub I have.
He's just telling you he won't do it. If you read and
Yeah.
comprehend the letter, he's telling you not gonna do it. The only solution I can see is that.
Why did they do it for
if-
45 years?
Ball drop.
Huh?
I don't know, maybe nobody
Why
read
did
the
they do it
agreement.
for 40, all of a
This
sudden
world
what's
is
wrong?
so
Come
much
on.
more different now than it was
I
45
can't
years
answer that because I
ago.
wasn't around.
Well, I know, but
But what I'm saying is that it's a simple turnaround. If you guys give us, if you sell it to us for $1, we'll take it, we'll maintain it.
I'm not selling my property to you right now. I can't, I have a mortgage on it. The bank won't let me sell it to you, or anybody else. I have a mortgage on my property. I'm sorry, but that's not,
Okay. You'll be called upon to talk.
I'm just telling you.
Okay, I appreciate it. But that's the only out that I see. But I'm in agreement that, it is a necessary parking lot back there for a lot of different reasons. But to have the village maintain it and take liability is another issue.
We're doing that inside the village right now in some areas that we plow that we don't own at this time.
Where's that?
I don't know, did we ever get the deed at Medina Street?
I don't even know where
Whatever
Medina
it's up off
Street
in
is.
Lawrence Avenue. Are we still plowing that?
I don't know, I don't even know where
Plowing
it
the
is.
arena parking lot that we don't own.
That's a whole new different issue.
No, it's the same issue.
No.
It's private property that's the village is maintaining.
Can't even argue that, because of the fact that it's a joint operation between the town and village that has to utilize that facility.
I mean, it's privately owned property. I don't care where you can spend any way you wanna spend it, it's privately owned property. You seem to be able to work on privately owned property when you feel it's in your best interest or that's something that you wanna do, but when you don't wanna do it, all of a sudden it's illegal to do it.
Any other discussion?
Did you have any feedback? I know you reached out to Nikon at one point. Did you have any feedback from them? They were supposed to give you some kind of a result as far as.
It's the same, it's the same. You take ownership of the problem, I go along with it. But, we have before us an extension that expires relatively quick. We have to determine, again, if it's a necessary plot that the village deems, that we need for the, municipal parking.
I told you what,
Yep, that's,
motion.
so is that what we're gonna offer? We'll offer them, our, before the 31st, we'll come up with a proposal, present it to the group,
Have them say yes or
and
no?
have them say yes or no.
Obviously, it's gonna go past the 31st because we don't meet until. I don't know when we're gonna be together again. So find out by the 31st.
Well, let's put it this way, do I have your authorization as a board to draft a letter with our intent and, to buy the property that, what we, dollar and,
We'll take ownership of it. Once we take ownership of it, we'll maintain it and do what we need to do to it. It's like, I can see where Francis and Herb are coming from. Every day we open the door, every day you turn the lights on, you got liability. You can't use the gym because you might get hurt, no matter where you go,
right,
somebody might get hurt. It's just the nature of the business, but this is something we can control this, so I say we take a shot at trying to control it. Let's give it our best shot again, no rush,
right.
right? We're not gonna get any more snow, right, huh? Look at it, beautiful. Parking lot may buckle from the heat, it's not because they're gonna go out.
All right, would you like to make a motion that, or just,
No.
you don't even have to make a motion.
You just, under advisement, just go ahead and do what you need to do. Send that letter out and see if you get any bites. See what they say.
All right,
The more we get written down, the better.
all right, thank you. All right,
In my opinion, there's 3 others.
well,
I concur.
so do I.
Okay.
All right, closing under 6, open under 7.